Hi everybody, welcome back to our North Northeast coverage. I'm here with Christian Bridges, who is here in North Northeast, and he will be at One Fire Movement's CD release party tomorrow at the Virgin Mobile Mod Club. So I guess first off, Christian, just tell the viewers a bit about yourself.
Well, as you know, my name is Christian Bridges. I am a musician slash, I guess, I like to say I'm an activist. I use my music as a way of expressing what I feel for myself inwardly and outwardly towards the world. So, yeah, that's, I'm 24. I based out of Toronto, live here, love it, so, yeah.
How did you get started with music?
Well, I was very blessed to be adopted into a beautiful family, and I got to go on tour with one of my brothers. All my brothers are musicians, and in some shape or form. And I got to go on tour with my brother Justin, and on that tour I just fell in love with music and the style of living. And I played guitar before, but I never sang, and so on that tour I just felt I got inspired to sing by a couple of people on the bus, and when I got off that bus and came home after 3 months, I just knew what I wanted to do, and it was make music and use music as a way to channel the way I feel inside. So,
how did you get involved with One Fire Movement?
Well, I've known Tony Roos for a while through the Kensington scene, and just when he started talking about the project, it sounded so beautiful, and especially about, you know, Nelly's Women's Shelter, and, you know, what he has with who he is. It just resonated with who I am, and you know, Nelly's Women's Shelter is such a beautiful place, and, you know, growing up, I lived in a women's shelter with my mom, so with my brothers and stuff, so I felt really at home and felt like it was very important for me to be a part of this, and this is exactly why I choose to make music and where it comes from and where it's supposed to be. So it was it felt like home. So
when you're writing music, do you start off with a melody on the guitar or another instrument, or do you start off writing lyrics first?
Usually I just like jam. I just pick up a guitar and start singing about whatever, and then I usually create a story, a plot in my head. I see, as I start jamming, I start to see more of a picture and a story that makes sense, and I just continue to evolve on that creative process, and, you know, and then I come up with lines I like, some I don't, and then, you know, hopefully I have a recorder nearby and I make sense out of my chaos. So
when we first saw you at One Fire Movement's We Are One event back in October 2012, you played one of your songs, called Cecilia, and it moved a lot of people to tears. What was that experience like?
Well, I feel humbled and honored that is how people feel about that song. For me, that's a very deep song as well. You know, it's based off of a tragedy that happened in my life, but it's also based off of a dream I had. So it's like half truth, half fable. You know, it's real, but it's also got some, you know, some magic in there. So I just feel very blessed that people feel it the way in my head the story goes, you know. So, and it helps me release those feelings. So I'm very thankful. Yeah.
So how does the audience affect you on stage if, you know, they start crying when you're playing one of your songs?
Well, that is amazing if that happens. That's really, you know, I hope it brings them not a sad cry, you know, but a place of
connection.
A connection, yeah. To me, it's all about the audience. The way each song, each venue, each breath, each moment is it's its own, and, you know, just channeling that all together is the best, and each time is different. So it always feels different in its own way. So I love it. I love each experience.
So tomorrow at that One Fire Moves event at the Mod Club, what can fans expect to see?
Well, I'll be playing with a bunch of my friends. I'm very blessed because the people I play with are all very people I look up to very much, and they are my friends and stuff like that. So I'm very lucky because the connection we share is like a really deep, you know, I feel like it's very real and very natural. And I got, like, you know, my friend Carlos on steel pan, Ben Ford on electric guitar, who's a monster on that thing. So I got beautiful people backing me up, and this is like pretty much my family. So realistically, I think it's just the connection and the vibe and the sense of wholeness, I think, out of what I carry, I think. So
what would you say is your most favorite song to perform live?
Like I said, each night, each time is different. Each song, each venue, like it's always changing. So sometimes I really love to play. I love to play Cecilia and River, because those two songs are really deep to me. Like River's about my mother and the struggles growing up and stuff like that. It's literally dedicated to her and her process in her life that she's going through. So I love to sing that, and Cecilia really is a story. And I like to be. I'm a dreamer, and dreams have turned into my reality, some of them, and I continue to use those as my main source of moving forward. And just having that place where I could say a story and it moves me, and then to have it move other people really changes everything for me and makes me believe in what I'm doing, because it came out of nothing. It came out of something real, but also something from a totally different world that had nothing to do with anything.
So you're releasing a CD. Release party is on Tuesday.
Yes.
So what can you tell us about this upcoming album?
So I just recorded a CD. This is my CD. I just recorded an EP live live to tape. We did it within 2 days, and it was it was done live off the floor to tape, and I did it with some of the coolest people I know and people I look up to as artists. And I got producer Tom Mackay, who's an incredible genius with editing and being producing and all that stuff. So I did a revolution, and I'm just very excited. It's songs that I've been playing for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years since I started. So it's the first step in my own direction. I was in a band called Down by Riverside, and we were doing really well, and things were going really strong, and that kind of fell apart. And it's okay. It's just on hiatus or whatever. It's like it is what it is where it's at. But this is my own, so I feel like I really have grabbed it myself, and I'm steering this boat. Just coasting, and it's my own, and I'm trying to find the beauty in it. And it's been a really struggle and striving and growing, and now strength to go through that whole process. And now I feel stronger and more humble and more balanced than ever. So
how long did it take to put this album together?
It took about 3.5, 4 months, but realistically, the recording was done in 2 days with like two 2 days of overdubs as well. So realistically, like 4 days took this whole. That's just recording. All the other stuff is nuts.
Yeah.
That's where it gets crazy. Editing and mixing and mastering and all that stuff. So, but that taught me so much about harmonies and staying in key and tune, pulling things, pushing things, what stays, what doesn't. So I learned a lot through the process. Realistically, I can't wait for my next step, next journey. I just want to get back into recording because I have so much more to do,
So what would you say was the most memorable or your favorite part of recording this album?
I think recording to tape. I've never, all the artists I really truly enjoy, Bob Marley, Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, all the old and greats, their style and where it comes from, there's something so deep within their music, and I didn't understand it because the new age, now everything's so changed and everything's pushing out of the speakers, whereas all the stuff I really enjoy and I started realizing is so deep within the speakers. It's you want to reach in there, you want to go swimming in it, where I feel like everything nowadays is so punchy and in your ears that I started studying that, and I learned about tape and what that is and what that means. So recording to tape, really I learned so much about that process, and I want to continue doing that. So that was a lot of fun. That was to me and also just learning about how to hold down harmonies properly, and just I just learned so much in that process. It really made me a totally different musician. I think this project, I can't wait for the next one, because I feel like I've already grown double as a musician just from that. like, you know, project. So yeah.
So what exactly is recording a tape? Like, you don't have to go into huge detail, but like just a brief overview of what it is. How it differs from other.
Well, recording to tape is you're recording onto a tape machine, so it's pulling your voice into magnets, whereas when you record into digital, it's all mathematics. So it's literally like you have your voice goes into a microphone, and the computer does math. So it's like, you know, up, down, la, 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 where I believe to tape it's more magnetized, so it's more like curvy. It's more curvy, so instead of squared off, it's like your voice is being pulled and pushed by magnets. So it's just the organic, it's like me and you talking in a room. It would capture everything, you know, it would capture your voice in a very smooth and organic way. So I really,
that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, it's a really cool way to do an album. So what can people look forward to on this album?
I think the future, man. Like, you know, like this is just like a moment in time, and I just want to keep going. And like, you know, like I'm very thankful and very blessed that to have that experience and to share that. Now I have something on my own to just, you know, to give out to the world. And you know, I'm you know, if everything ended tomorrow, I'm very blessed with everything I've accomplished in my life so far. You know, even that, I never thought I would ever do something like this. Catch me 5 years ago, I was in, you know, dropped out of, you know, Sheridan for illustration. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and just ended up following my heart more, and like, you know, really being like, I could do whatever I want as long as I put the energy and time into it, and, you know, believing in myself, and, you know, so, and I have guidance, and, you know, having that guidance was the biggest thing that got me through, you know, and carrying me. So I'm very thankful.
So after this is out, what's next? Just get back in the studio, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm like, you know, this is a lot of like pushing out and like projecting myself and a lot of, you know, that stuff. I think after this project and CD release, I really want to pull back and reevaluate myself and just like, you know, go back into the humble world and just like sit at night and record and try things out and go back into not so much like do deadlines and all this stuff, just like more freedom and stuff like that, you know, like freedom of expression, because that's where it all really comes from. It's like, you know, the essence of your being, and if you're being pushed too much or you're pushing yourself too much, that's kind of taking away from, it goes hand in hand, you know. So but I just really want to go back into my artistic world and really start to evolve and find new things and new ways of wanting to approach music and stuff. And also playing, I want to play festivals. That's another thing. So that's my next step, is I just want to play. I love playing for people. My biggest thing is I love to make people dance. Like if I can move a room, that's my favorite thing. So that's what I hope for.
So being at North by Northeast, what's this experience like for you?
It's been amazing. Like, you know, to see the bands that are, you know, to see other people who are in the same, you know, same world, music world, creative ability, and all the pieces that go to it, you know, like you and like everyone, there's so much that goes into something like this. So it's been really wonderful to experience that and to see that and to talk and to meet new people and to see other people's vibes, people from different parts of, you know, the world coming here to you know, do what I get to do here, but they're from a different place doing the same thing, and seeing them like hold it down heavy and inspire me, it's like amazing. So I just want to, you know, I want to do that as well, travel and do all that fun stuff. So it's great to see all this come together and have others in our city that I don't know about, and, you know, check out that scene. So
But what's the craziest thing you've ever seen or done on stage or at a show?
Craziest thing I've ever seen or done on stage. Well, the craziest thing I've ever seen is, I don't know who it was, but some guy tried to jump into the crowd and he jumped into the crowd, or he tried to jump over the crowd and land on another part, and he jumped over the crowd and landed on a girl. And